What's going on, everybody? David here. Today I want to talk about airports. So how can you make this whole experience a lot more pleasurable or less hectic and stressful? And it's one of those deals. The airports, they're always going to be crowded. You're always going to have people there 24/7. And there are different things that you can do to prepare yourself to have just a better experience, a better overall experience. And so the first thing is getting to the airport. You have to get there. So either a family member will take you, a friend, or you'll take Uber or Lyft or a taxi. Those are kind of your options to get to the airport. Or you'll drive yourself, which is an option. It's usually not the preferred option, only because if I'm going for a few days, let's say 2 or 3 days, I could park in long-term parking and it really doesn't cost me that much. It might cost me $35, $40 for the whole time. So in a situation like that, I might opt to just drive there and park my car and then pay for the long-term parking. But in most situations, you can catch an Uber for cheaper than that to take you there and to bring you back home. So if you are in that situation, the first thing you want to do when you get to the airport, instead of going to the departures where everyone goes when they're getting on a plane, go to the arrivals. Most airports are set up where they have one level is the arrivals and the other level is the departures. So I know at LAX in Los Angeles, if I go there, I can go to the arrivals and all I need to do is catch an escalator up one flight and now I'm at the departures. And generally the arrivals, there are a lot less people at the arrival gate and there are a lot more people at the departure gate. So just be aware of that. You can save yourself 10, 15 minutes just by going that route. And I've sat in those lines on a Friday night getting ready to try to catch a flight out of Los Angeles, and you are just in bumper to bumper traffic. I mean, it's almost, you're at slower than a walker's pace. So it's, in some situations, it's better just to get out at terminal number 1 and walk all the way down. So just keep that in mind. It will save you some time. Okay, so now that you've arrived at the airport, hopefully you've already set it up to where you printed out your boarding pass or you have it on an app. I usually use the app, and what I'll do is I will have let's say I'll use the example of JetBlue. So I have JetBlue, I'll use their JetBlue app, and I can have my boarding pass on my phone. And don't just have it on your phone like where you search to get to it and you can pull it up on the app. Take a screenshot of it so you have it in your little gallery, your picture gallery. That way, if there are any problems with your Wi-Fi or your phone and it's acting up and it's not letting you pull it up, you have that screenshot. You can show the screenshot. All it is a barcode. So the barcode, as long as the barcode reads, you're fine. And that's generally the way that I do it. Now you can, like I said, you can print it out. Usually you shouldn't just go to the airport without pre-booking, so not having a little boarding pass. Usually you should have a boarding pass. It just makes things so much easier. You don't have to wait in line. If you don't have checked bags, there's no reason for you to wait in line. So if you don't print it out, then you have to go to their little kiosk there and try to print it out or wait in line to have them give you the boarding pass. So that's just to make it a little less standing in line. Just make sure you have that set up so where you have it on your phone or you've printed it out. Now, if you're coming back from a destination and you can't print it out, that's where the app really comes in handy. But there are some situations where you do have to either use their kiosk at the airport or you have to print at the hotel or something like that. But there are different ways, but have it printed. That's really important. Okay, so now this brings me to a situation with your bags. So how do you pack? I usually always pack a carry-on and a personal item. I very rarely will check a bag. And there are a few different reasons for that. I'm a photographer. I have camera gear on me all the time, and my camera gear is very expensive, so I like to have that with me at all times. So I will have a bag of just my camera stuff, so that's my personal item, and then I'll have all my clothes and everything in my carry-on. So that's just the way that I go. It makes it so much easier. I don't have to check a bag, so I don't have to wait in line to check a bag. I can just go straight to the airport. I have my boarding pass on my phone. I can go right to the security checkpoint. So that just really streamlines it. So if you can, and I know it's hard for some people to pack that small, but just start thinking along those terms where pack for 5 days And if you're staying, even if you're staying at a hotel, you can wash clothes. Or if you're staying at Airbnb, it's a perfect situation because usually they have a washer dryer there. You can wash your clothes and dry them. So just kind of start thinking along those terms. I can get away with 7 days of clothes just by packing the right way and wearing my large clothes, like my jeans and stuff like that. I'll wear a pair of jeans, and my largest clothes I'll wear on me when I go to the airport. So just little things like that. But if you could do the carry-on, it makes life so much easier. Okay, so now we'll talk about safety checkpoints. So you've gotten all that other stuff taken care of, smooth process, you're walking right through, you get to the security checkpoint and you see this long line. Well, I like to prepare ahead of time. So what I'll do is I will have TSA PreCheck or Global Entry. TSA PreCheck is for the United States, Global Entry is for coming into the US from other countries. So you have a separate line. So that separate line you go through, generally it's always, I've never seen it more people in TSA PreCheck or Global Entry line than in like a regular line. Usually the regular line is 3-4 times as many people there. So that will streamline you to walk right through. You don't have to take your laptop out. You don't have to take your camera gear out. You don't have to take your shoes off, all that. You just go straight through. They've already done kind of a pre-screening on you, background, and I will post a link in the description so you guys can check out the videos that I did on Global Entry and TSA PreCheck. Okay, so now that you've gotten past the security checkpoint, there's a few things that I do. Now, I have a few credit cards that will allow me lounge access. And it's very important. If you can get lounge access, you can really save a lot of money in the long run. Because what I do is I will go to the lounge usually my routine is as soon as I get into the terminal, I'll go to my gate just to make sure there's no changes or anything like that. And then I'll walk to one of the lounges. And I have Priority Pass, which allows me to go into different lounges. And usually every airport will have a lounge. There are very few airports that I've been to that don't have a lounge that I have access to. So I'll go to the lounge, I'll get some water, I'll get some snacks, I'll just hang out, use the Wi-Fi, all that, and then I'll go and jump on the plane. So that whole process, now I'm not sitting in the regular terminal with everybody else yelling and screaming and all that and having to go get food at a place where I'm spending $20 for a sandwich, some chips, and a bottle of water. I have pretty much all that. Now I won't have the sandwich. Usually the lounges won't have like full-on meals, but they will have snacks and stuff to get me by. And that brings me to my next point. Just a lot of people don't realize this, but you can bring food through the safety checkpoint. So if I'm going on a trip, I can bring snacks, I can bring food, I just can't bring liquids. So you can bring a sandwich, and now I pack. So I'll pack a sandwich, I'll pack like a lunch. So sandwich and some chips or what have you. That way, when I get on the plane, if I want something to eat later on and the plane doesn't offer any food on the flight, then I have that. And I don't have to go and buy something that I've had this routine where I first started out, and it's pretty ridiculous, but I would go through the security checkpoint and I would go and I'd look at these lines at these restaurants and stuff like that, and even Subway and all that, and I didn't want to wait in line. So what I do is I go to a gift shop, and every gift shop, usually they'll have like the little sandwiches in the little cellophane wrap sandwiches, and they're usually about $7-8, and then you buy a bag of chips, that's another $3, and then you get a drink, that's usually like $5 to $6. So right there, you've racked up all that money, and all you needed to do was just bring your own sandwich and chips, and then maybe just buy a water if you have to do that. Or if you have lounge access, you can go get water in the lounge. So just things that I've learned. Save a little bit of money whenever you can. I mean, it's really not that hard to make a sandwich, and you can make the sandwich the way you want it. I generally don't even like the way those sandwiches taste because they've been sitting there all day or maybe a couple of days. So it's just one of those things. If you plan ahead, you can really avoid spending extra money that you shouldn't have to spend. Okay, and the last thing that I do, and I generally, when it comes to flying, I like to be the first one on the plane or close to the first one on the plane. So I will pay in a lot of situations. I will pay that extra for the even more seats, a little extra space seats. I'll pay for that. Usually it's between $25 to $50 or $60, and that's each way. So I'll pick the ones that I'm really concerned about, and I will pay. And the reason that I do that is because I have carry-ons, and I want to carry my bags on. In most situations, if you're one of the last people on the plane, there is a possibility that you have to check your bag. Now, you check it for free. You don't have to pay anything. But if I have any camera gear in my actual suitcase, then I have to check that, and I really don't want to have to deal with that situation. So I do pay. In most cases, I will pay for that more desirable seat, which in most situations will give me that priority access to the plane, as well as credit cards. Now, if you get airline credit card, usually airline credit cards, that's one of the things. They'll have free bags, and they will have, or I shouldn't say free bags, but they'll have at least one free bag, and then they'll have priority boarding, so you're able to get on the plane before everyone else. So if you fly one specific airline more than the rest, then that's a situation where you might want to think about getting that credit card. American Airlines Advantage card is one of the cards that I have. So when I fly American, I have one free check bag, as well as I have priority boarding. So and that just saves a lot of headache. And I've been in that situation where I've had to check my bag, and then you're always nervous. Is my bag going to get there? Or is everything going to go through as far as the system works and everything? It's more of a headache than it needs to be. So in situations like that, try to see if you can be one of the first ones on the plane. And you can also, when you're, as far as boarding the plane, when you do your pre-boarding, if you do it 24 hours in advance, if you can do it right to the minute 24 hours in advance, generally you'll get a better ranking, so you'll be higher up, so you won't be one of the last people to board the plane. Even if you don't get even if you don't pay an additional fee for the more preferred seats, you still will be a little higher up in the order of boarding the plane. So just keep that in mind. But those are the things that I do as far as at airports. And I've gotten down to a routine now. I've been traveling for the last couple of years, and I've been able to really fine tune my experience just to improve it, because that's one of the things when it comes to travel. I love being in new destinations and going out and taking pictures all over the world, but that airport part is one thing that I really don't like, because of the stress, and everyone's tense, and it's really, you have to really kind of weave your way around making it a good experience. And one more thing that I didn't talk about, as far as lounges, you can really relax in a lot of these lounges. You can in some lounges you're able to sleep. You can take a shower if you want in some of the lounges, and they have TV where you can just watch the TV and hear the volume. You don't have to be distracted by other people around you and things like that. So some of the lounges are really cater to you, and you can really have a good experience while you're in the lounge. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. Please leave a comment in the comment section just about your experience, your overall airline experience or airport experience. Have you done the lounges? Do you have other ideas that you've done that I didn't mention that really help you when it comes to relaxing at an airport? So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.